And we're back.
And we're back. Welcome to hour 2 of our Tech Stack Reimagined post inbound 2025 Breeze Agent deep dive, Breeze Assistant deep dive, basically Breeze Studio deep dive. We just got done creating a new assistant with a new knowledge base, all the docs that you'd usually bring in. I had some instructions already, ready to go. So going to click publish and then go to manage assistants. So now we've got an assistant, we've got a couple agents, got an inbox to see all of our runs right across. This was the close loss deal analysis, the deal loss agent did a run. I think I can even see, so you can see the test run here where there wasn't any closed loss deals. And just this kind of visibility, like, man, powerful in terms of being able to see the runs. There is a dashboard, I think on the overview here, right?
Yep.
So dashboard, Breeze features in use. Like this is where like, don't just sit back and be like, I don't know where to get started. I don't know how this works. Like, it's just not okay to use those as excuses anymore. Because by the way, like if you start using this stuff and you run into those things, the team has been unbelievably responsive towards making things happen, making things better. You can see runs per agent, right? So all of that stuff, like, please be mindful that this stuff exists too. As you start, like, if you take me up on the suggestion that just start clicking buttons, coming in here, activating stuff, right? You have the visibility to see what's actually happening, and you should be aware of that too. Anything to add in terms of the difference between or how agents, assistants, knowledge tools, how we should be thinking about all these things?
AI ops. I think that when you look at all of this stuff and you wonder to yourself, what the heck, and how am I ever supposed to encapsulate all of this and learn all of this and take all of this into account? It's because you have to evolve. And I'm not joking, right? Like RevOps, the reason that RevOps is becoming a thing of the past is because a tool is now present that can do all the same analysis that you used to do. And it can apply all of the same rules that you used to apply. But it can do them from a far more accurate lens. And that's because of being able to leverage the data.
Yeah. And if you've been paying attention this week, which you probably haven't been, totally cool. But
no.
I've changed the last word of my title from RevOps to agents.
Yep.
Because that I'm not going to I'm not coaching on RevOps anymore. Right.
No.
And I just don't like AI ops. It's pretty awkward. For being honest. It's so awkward that when I'm in voice mode with Claude,
it reads it weird, right?
Sometimes it's like it just says like ultimate A powered workspace.
Right.
Oh, that's it. It means AI there.
Have you been doing the same thing like elsewhere? So like I've been like when it comes to coding stuff and doing vibe coding and stuff like that, right? Like lines and scanning matter because, that's just it. So what I've been doing is like prepending instructions. I've been telling like the model, like, hey, you're the only one that's ever going to be dealing with this code. So legitimately code it however you feel is most efficient and accurate for you and other agents to be dealing with it. And especially in GitHub, like I imagine the same thing as may be possible in Breeze, where you can basically create a knowledge file that acts as like system instructions, right? That basically has by default the brand data and all that kind of stuff. Though that, they also have that as a tool, I think, right?
What's that?
I think having your brand data is also like a tool that's available to agents.
Yes.
Yeah. So like it's that's all I can tell you is like learning how to do this and learning how to set up agents and learning how to set up assistants. It's a new thing. And
Yeah.
you obviously have to get into it and you obviously have to like learn how to do it, but it's a new thing that's an extension of RevOps because it's doing exactly what RevOps used to do. It's going so much further than that. Like instead of working on life cycle stages and figuring out life cycle stages by look, I used to do this stuff, so it's not like I'm just talking out of my ass.
Oh my
Instead
gosh.
of instead of just sitting there, yeah, I know,
Look at these assets.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like instead of sitting there with your client and trying to figure out, this is one trick that I used to do. When starting out with clients, one of the things that we would eventually get to be doing is um, form strategy. And part of form strategy was to take a look at their forms and to see what kind of questions they were asking and type of information they were collecting, and then to look at like potentially what type of information they should have been collecting and what type of information they could have been getting from their customers. And so before I would meet with them and before we would have that particular part of the implementation, I would actually take anonymized data from the portal and I would do an analysis of like the business and I would build out a custom GPT of that business. And then I would have it tell me what are the questions that I should be asking of my customers based on all of the information of my customer base and my business. And I would bring those questions to the meetings. Excuse me. And then in every single case, the client was blown away by what questions were being asked. That I knew those questions in the first place, or that I knew the right questions to ask in the first place. It cut that aspect, like all the other meetings, the life cycle stages. I learned how to figure that one out later. Same thing for ICPs. The amount of time that it cut out of having those meetings, out of sitting there trying to poke around and figure out what questions should we be asking, how should we be asking them, this, that, and the other thing. Because the custom GPT, much like a custom assistant, is able to give you what you need from the actual, it's like building a CEO. I wish I was joking. You can quite literally build out an assistant that acts as if it were another person. The other person can give it the information, the data, whatever it is, right? Like for myself, I'm going to be building out an assistant that has all of the understandings that I do about the things that I know how to do in HubSpot, as well as with assistants, as well as with agents, so that other people can have my guidance whenever they need it. They can work on agents and build out assistants, and I don't have to be right there, and we don't have to waste time in a meeting. They can just open me as an assistant on the side, and I can guide them through it, even though I'm not there. I don't know how you pay me for that. I don't really give a shit either, but that's what we're talking about at the end of the day. What you're talking about with agents is like your revenue departments, your reporting departments, your quantitative departments. A lot of that is now pretty much taken over by your agents. And again, the fact that you can chain these together, right? So company research agent, something comes in, new client comes in, new company that matches the reps, a particular reps IC. Well, maybe not even. A new client comes in, agent picks it up, goes and does company research, comes back, fills in a asinine amount of properties because it can with the results from this company research because it can spit out a JSON payload. And you can take that, turn it around, and put it into properties. You can even put it as a note on the record if you want to. Does whatever you want to do, right? Like, I don't whatever you want to do, but down the road, whatever you want to do. For right now, it's like almost anything. Finishes up with that task. Then it goes to another agent who picks it up based off of something that took place. And the other agent takes a look at all this newfound data on the company record. And that agent decides who to assign it to based on the actual profile of that company. It's no longer round robin. It's no longer, oh, assign it to so-and-so because that person's mailbox is full. Now it's assign it to that rep because that rep kills it when it comes to this profile of company. Did you hear what I just said?
And even this profile of person.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Because it could look at the company and say, oh, that fits these 5 reps. And then it could look at the contact of that company, look at the contacts data, if there's anything there, because you should have those questions on your forms. Because if people are actually interested in what you're selling, they will fill out the information because you're asking them questions that is relevant to what they want to know. Please stop pretending like you are gating people and that we're limiting our leads. No, you're not. All you're doing is increasing the quality of people that come through the door. And if the number of leads go down, that means that you're marketing to the wrong crowd. That's what that tells you. Because the lead should be coming through your door, even if you are asking questions. I don't care about filling out forms so long as you're asking me about stuff that I'm actually trying to get a hold of. If you just keep asking me about my personal information so that you could sit there and send another marketing message to me and shit that doesn't even matter to you, the amount of times that anybody has leveraged someone's personal address, their zip code, city and state that they live in, or phone number, I don't know what to tell you. Please stop taking phone numbers. Like, you're not even using SMS services in like 75% of the cases of you guys that are taking phone numbers. So I don't even know why you're doing it. It's just pissing people off. Those kind of things gate. You know what doesn't gate? What kind of problem are you trying to solve? Oh, you're on my Labubu website? Which type of Labubu are you looking for? Oh, you're on my chocolate website? Do you have any sort of allergies that I need to know about before I ship you the chocolate? Actual relevant questions, right? Oh, you're buying auto parts from me? Cool. Were you looking to, are you trying to save a buck? Are you trying to find exactly what you're looking for? Do you care if you got to wait a little bit longer so that I can get you the right part from somewhere else? Right? Relevant questions that your customer is going to want to know. They're going to want to know, like, okay, how soon can I get this thing? Do you actually have what I'm looking for? How soon can you get it to me? How much is it actually going to cost? Right? All that kind of stuff, super important, super relevant. Consulting, here's a scary one. Be upfront. Here's a crazy one. Like, how many hours are you looking to spend with us? What's the maximum budget that you can go to? Right? All of those types of questions. Like, what's somebody done for you? Like, are you coming from another failed relationship with another, put it in that way, failed relationship with another organization or another partner? Because that's what you should be establishing as a relationship. You should not just be establishing another account that I'm going to work with until I slam dunk it, and then I don't give a shit what happens. I'll send them off to my support team who doesn't know shit about them, so they're just going to run a playbook. Right? It should be the case that, yes, scary though it may seem, your sales is your BDM, it's your sales, it's your account rep, and it's your support. Just pay them accordingly. Deal with it. Because I got to tell you, if I have a relationship with your business and I'm always talking to the same person, I'm always going to keep talking to your business. But if I'm constantly like, think about it like you're buying a car. Would you rather talk to the same person that you've been buying a car from the entire time that you've been buying them from that particular dealership? Or do you want to get hit up with somebody different every single time? Right. And so, like, even that, like, this played out over the entire organization. Again, now we're able to take that account. We're drilling into the account to find out what type it is. Then we're drilling into the person that's attached to the account to figure out what type of person they are. And then we can take all of that information to figure out which rep is best suited to close the account. Right. Now we've taken, I hate to say it, and I hate to tell you, HubSpot, now we've taken playbooks out of the equation. Who fucking needs them? Now it's a matter of like, it's played off the data. It's not like, now it's not even like, follow this guide and you should be able to do it. Now it's, here's your lead that is specific to you, that is specific to your skills and your qualities and the people that you've closed. So playbooks, I skipped a beat there. They are still important. They establish your baseline, right?
Have you seen
But I think
process
once your
guides though?
baseline is established, I think then you go, right?
Have you seen process guides though?
I haven't. I haven't had a chance to look at
Right.
everything.
And I just saw it yesterday as we were running through the 100 updates. It's a better playbook. Like there's
okay.
no
And
way
it's
it doesn't just
probably geared to what I was just saying, right?
wholesale. It's going to wholesale replace playbooks, and it's available at professional level. Like I don't use playbooks unless I have enterprise where the data actually being created by the playbook can actually update the CRM. Right. Otherwise, I mean, it's nice to be able to guide people and make notes,
Right.
but it still creates the scenarios where you're doing this thing and then you have to re-enter the data, and it's really hard to get adoption on those things. But like, yeah, absolutely right. So I'm just like, as you're going through this, I'm just going to implement all of the agents and run them all. And then we can go through and see what's what. Just because literally all we're trying to do is cover this awareness gap. Like we understand you got a job to do. And there's when there's 200 updates, when there's a brand new nav every other week, it's risky if you have a specific job to do and you like trying new things. It's risky to go and just like check it out, right? And all of a sudden you've lost 2 hours. And you know that this last mile problem exists too, where like you might make a lot of progress, but then you can't connect the dot, or this one thing it won't get right, which means you can't use it. I think at the beginning, as when you were on the way back, I mentioned like when Dylan said, like you're seeing actually like 3 minutes to set up an agent, right? 3 weeks to make sure it's working right. Like, because there's training on both sides, you probably don't have all the context you need. Like, and that takes time to like actually, we just love this stuff so much. So we're doing it like nights and weekends and constantly. And that's why we're trying to like help you cross some of that gap, like by just doing this part so that you can like maybe reduce a little bit that anxiety of like what happens when I click on that button. Like we got to get you past that part, right? Because what's on the other side is greatness at some point, but it's not a magic 8-ball yet either, right? It's when it is, it's fun, right? It's the most fun when it gets it right first shot. You didn't do anything, but it's also like super frustrating when you're like, yeah, team, like get over here, Nico. Man, you're not gonna believe what this thing just did. Let's just hit that button, Nico. Hit that button. And then just like garbage comes out. Right? Because nothing's been set up. It got lucky the first time. Right. And so many of if you do that, like if you're the admin, right? And this happened before AI too, but now it's even easier to fall into that trap. If that's the first introduction to Nico in that moment, He's like, yeah, thanks, Chris. Clearly this isn't ready. I'm going to go back to doing like my emails. Right. Like, and by the way, anything you tell me about AI is now like, you got more work to do to prove that it's going to work, because I know that my fingers can type out this email like correctly. I don't know that Breeze Sparkle button isn't going to take me longer to like go in and fix it and say it how I want to fix it. So all of that is what's in that 3 weeks, right? And just take care, especially if you're the owner of the HubSpot. Like, if it's your responsibility to make sure HubSpot's working for the organization, it's your responsibility to find that 3 weeks, like somewhere in your schedule. Because the whole reason I'm just activating these, like, if you can't even find time to do this part where you're just understanding these 18 agents, like, you got to find a way to do that part. Like, and the excuse of like, I got to create another report, or I got to get ready for this next meeting, or I got these tickets to go through from the sales team. Like, you got to find a way to prioritize this activity.
Right.
So I'm going to keep going. I know you got more to say there, but like blog research agent, are you kidding me? By the way, like, use this while you can and be expected to pay money for this. What, don't even think for a second that this should be free. Like,
I mean, like, yeah, given what you're seeing us run, given what you're hearing us talk about, because what you're seeing, try to understand, like, what you're seeing is powerful stuff. Don't get me wrong, very powerful stuff. But at the same time, and I'm trying to be fair, I think Dharmesh would kind of agree with this, right? It's child's play compared to what you could build. That's the nicest, fairest way I can put it. I think that's entirely fair. It's child's play compared to what you could build. Like,
right.
On your own, you could build such amazing tools with this stuff.
Right. Which is why we're showing you this today, and we'll show you the build from scratch tomorrow. Because it's a stark difference. And even like, again, from the last Moonshots podcast, the future where everybody is an entrepreneur, like, that is the career. It's really possible, because we're going to hopefully not make it too hard on you this weekend by showing, like, if you've got to work in an organization with other teams, like, and you want to create some stuff, you want to create magical moments for people and just make lives easier. But you have guidelines to follow and structure. And if you tried to build something outside of HubSpot and you try to bring that new app into your tech stack, then you got to go through IT and legal and security and all this bullshit. Like, it's just a non-starter. And there's nothing more frustrating than bringing something into an org, even if it's just a process, anything new, and getting agreement from everybody. And then everybody's like, well, I don't know how we're going to get that through these processes that we have. Or let's have a meeting next month. Chris, I like what you're doing here, but we got to do our due diligence. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, we don't have time for that. All right.
Now you have that, right? Like, now you have your quant, you have your person to run due diligence. Like,
Right.
it's like Chris is saying, like, there's no reason why to not use these tools. The only reason you don't want to use these tools is in my opinion, because you're afraid.
Right.
Basically, because either you're afraid, or, and I'm just being honest, you're obtuse. It's one of the two. Either you really don't even want to do the comparison, because if you weren't obtuse, you would at least use the tools and then compare them to what you're doing and say, like, whether or not they're good or not. And then, do we need to tweak or something like that? Or do we want to pursue this or not? then at least I could say like, all right, at least you looked at it and you saw for yourself that it wasn't really the case. If that's not the case, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be using it at all. And even when you use it and you're like, well, it's not quite there, blah, 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 find somebody that knows what they're doing, because just because the out of the box solution did not work for you does not mean that it won't work altogether.
Right.
That's the way I can put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think a lot of the problem is like, and this is why I struggle with things that are built around human in the loop. Because due diligence often is code for I need to be involved. Like I need to have some control over what's happening. So we're gonna go
Yeah.
do our due diligence. Like, and sometimes it's valid. We gotta get everybody in the room. Everybody needs anybody that's impacted by this thing that you're doing. The worst thing you can do is surprise them because then they're done. Like they're done with you. Like just the
Yeah.
fact that they are being surprised, no matter how valuable and easier life becomes, like that's a part of the organizational. I don't want to call that part the game or politics because there's real respect required. Like when you're having to work inside of an organization and you start to impact other people's responsibilities, other people's domains. And that's the challenge of being a HubSpot admin at the end of the day. There are right ways and wrong ways to represent this stuff and to
Mhm.
present it to get the buy-in that you need. And it gets harder and harder when it's a brand new idea or it's something that's been outside of the approved mechanism, right? And some people are good at this game, others are not. I'm not, which is why I am where I am. And that's what, we'll focus on that tomorrow, where we're just like, if you're not, this is where like you're talking about last hour, like the new competition, the piranhas or the people that are taking the bites out of the sharks, those are most likely to come from your organization, right? When you know that they have access to this choice and you don't give them the tools and the technology and the knowledge and the space and the safety to innovate into the problem that they know exists, and the organization just can't move fast enough, those are the people that go and build the other business with all your IP, all the knowledge that they understand about your organization. It's the easiest for them to start up a competitive business, right? Um, so give them a chance to create some value for your companies, guys.
To do something amazing. Right.
Is that is that what you're not paying them to do? Uh, any of these agents that you've been like, or tell me, like, I don't know how much. Something that's not clear is this is a marketplace, right? We know how
Yeah.
agent.ai is set up where people build out agents. We expect some of that. This is built for that world, right? That's the plan here at the marketplace,
Yeah.
right? Do we know how that's
Not yet.
right? Still
I
still
think
remains to be seen.
every agent marketplace currently that I have seen um does is in that place currently where, okay, we know this is the thing we want to do. We know this is a thing we need to have. Uh Everyone has a marketplace, no one knows how to capitalize. And it's like nobody knows what they should be charging, and supposedly what people keep telling me is that it's too difficult to do the pricing. And it's too difficult to pay out individuals based on like token use of their agents. And what I don't understand about that is why And look, what I'm finding is that in order to make your organization stronger, what I'm finding is that you need to enable people on your team who are both critical and creative thinkers, because that is becoming quite the resource right now. In that, if you have somebody on your team that is enabled in that way, then you end up coming back with an idea such as this, which I think is extremely doable, and infrastructure already in place, so nothing is really being upset. It's just that there's a reversal, which creates a new form of revenues, both for the hosting marketplace and for the recipient, as well as your payroll companies, because payroll companies now have to add this additional export or output, or payment systems, however you want to look at it. I don't care. So reverse it. Reverse it in that instead of paying an employee every 2 weeks for the work that they're doing for you, now you are being paid as an organization or an individual every 2 weeks for the work that your agent is doing for you. Makes full sense to me. So agents get paid based on credits. Credits equal dollars. So people pay dollars to use the agent. If they use HubSpot agent, HubSpot gets paid, no big deal. If they use my agent's account accrues credit dollars. And at the end of 2 weeks, HubSpot takes its percentage cut, but then the rest of it comes back to me. I don't see any ACH that wouldn't buy into that, because they can take a percentage on their end. Everyone gets paid, right? And I get paid for my effort, because the effort was building the agent. So I should get paid for the IP that I put into building that agent. So HubSpot, if you're listening, I don't even care if it's on a monthly basis, bro, because everybody is going to be, anyone who's building agents in your marketplace already has a job. Or, shocker, you could be this crazy new horizon of a company that has, for once, a micro marketplace for non-HubSpot users within HubSpot. It's kind of like World of Warcraft had people building add-ons for them that didn't work at Blizzard, but they built add-ons, and Blizzard folded them into the app, and those individuals could get paid, but Blizzard would also get paid because there'd be more subs.
Man, the modding community with the gaming industry.
If you guys want to figure it out, just ask us, right? Like, you want to figure it out, just ask us, give us your problem. Like, I'm working on it as hard as I can to try to figure out how I can build a company. It's just called Think Tank, where we just come up with IP all fucking day long, because why not? But that HubSpot, if you want to solve the problem, if you want to be the first, you want to frontier this thing and shove it in Salesforce's face. And I can think of no greater incentive for people to use your agents than for you to pay them to build them. It's insane to me. Even if you're only giving 50%, I already have a job anyway. So I don't care. Dude, just be like Google. Google takes 30% on the marketplace. Take 30% and walk away. I don't give a shit. Take 35%. Give 5% to your processing company. I don't care. Solve the problem. Show everybody else that you can. You have the money to do it. It's not like you can't, hemorrhage for 2 months to figure it out, right? And make the adjustments, make the price adjustments accordingly. Be the first one to get there. Innovate. Not like you don't, but like, seriously innovate. Like, really, if you do this, you're the first ones to figure it out. I mean, figure it out. I told you, but still. Treat them like people. They're workers. You want them to be coworkers, right? You want us to work with these digital coworkers, right? Okay, pay them every 2 weeks, and that's our paycheck. Right? Makes full sense. I'm sorry. It really does. It makes full sense. And if you don't, if you don't, I'm gonna make it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that it's spitballed in my head, it's like 6 months away. Like everything that I come up with, there's already shit in front of it. So unfortunately, the new ideas have to go on the back burner, but it's coming basically. So like as soon as it comes into my head, the roadmap is already there, and it's already, and the roadmap is build it and get it out there. That's my roadmap for all the apps and all the ideas that I come up with. Build it and get it out there. There is no like, well, I'm going to figure out my GTM strategy, and I'm going to figure out the market that I'm going to get to, and I'm going to figure out exactly where I'm going to, what channels I'm going to hit with it. Nope.
Ship it.
Get it done. Blast it. Yeah.
Ship it.
Ship it. Get it out there. Other people. Why? Because these are innovative things that solve problems that have been around forever. So you won't need the marketing that you thought you needed, because other people are going to see it. They're going to say, wow, this solves the exact problem I've had for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. Holy shit. And they're immediately going to tell other people about it. I don't know how many AI tool recommendations have come my way. Hundreds. And I've used probably 50 of them. So it's got a 50% success rate. I don't know any other marketing method that has a 50% conversion rate. At least for me. And I'm super picky about the shit. And I probably pay, talk about using half. I use half in terms of like probably within a quarter, I will have used these 50 different applications. I pay for 10%, maybe 15% of them. It's a hefty monthly. I pay more than I do for Netflix. Let's put it that way. And I have the family plan for Netflix. So that's like, to me, it's like 50% conversion of use, 15% conversion of actual paid sub. I don't know. Those numbers are pretty stupid to me. Oh yeah. And your margins begin at 80%. And if you're really bad at it, your margin begins at 50%. If you're really bad at it, 50% margin. You know who else has a 50% margin? Visa and MasterCard. And it was like discovered that they pretty much have like, you know, unannounced, or actually announced now, but other companies haven't announced them, their margins, that is. Up until now, that's basically like the largest margins anybody's ever heard of. It was like 52%, and one of them was like 55%. I'm not joking. Run the numbers. Run the numbers in multiple models. Using Replit, you can build these solutions, or find a marketplace where you can actually market these things. And you'll see the numbers. Your starting initial month margin is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 40 to 60%. And it only gets larger the further you go, because of the fact that the new pricing model is usage based. And I've started to get pushback from agencies about, we can't do usage based pricing. That model is broken. It doesn't work. Somebody actually, like, I don't know, like somebody actually told me that shit. They were like, oh no, usage based model is broken. You can't do it that way. What are you talking about? It's the most attractive model ever. It's the best model ever. You are guaranteed revenue. Like, I don't know how many clients I've had that just needed data quality. That's all they needed. They didn't need the rest of Ops Hub. They didn't need all of that shit. They were never going to use it. And my job ended up becoming convincing them how to use the other 6 tools in Ops Hub along with data quality to justify the $800 increase. If it was usage based, then they just use data quality and HubSpot would still get paid. And this company would essentially not be paying for not be paying for a suite of tools where they're only using 1 in 6 primarily. The other ones they're really like, I think like 3 of the tools they didn't need at all, so they were never going to use them in the first place. New model, new rules, new way of doing things. I can tell you that something is coming. Something is on the horizon, and it is coming fairly quickly. And it is, I'll just put it out there, like just a little bit, step a foot out there. It's a usage based CRM. Entirely usage based CRM. And let me tell you, I was at Inbound. I saw all the AI first CRM vendors. Oh, yeah. Real quick aside. Sorry that I didn't get vendor interviews this year. They wouldn't talk to me. None of them. I talked to one vendor who told me I had to come back and talk to his marketing guy. And after talking to him for 2 minutes, he said that they couldn't do it. And these weren't going to be interviews like, hey, let me flame the shit out of your business. It's going to be interviews like back in 22 when I was like, hey, talk to me about what you do, what it is that's different about what you do versus HubSpot. I was able to interview practically every vendor that I asked back in 22. Here we are in 25. I asked them the same exact thing, except that every vendor was basically a SaaS offshoot of HubSpot and all of its capabilities. So the question this time was the same in terms of just talk to me about what it is that you guys do that differs from HubSpot and how people, like how and why people should be looking in your direction. Nope, don't want to talk about it. Nope, don't want to get interviewed. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, usage-based CRM. I talked to all of those guys. I talked to every single AI first. I even talked to one that had the balls to label themselves as an AGI CRM. Let me tell you,
What?
never going to talk to you guys
AGI
again,
CRM.
like ever.
What the hell? What does it even mean?
Dude, it was so, to me, it was so embarrassing. It's like, wow, you are openly admitting that you want to bastardize that acronym.
Yeah, that you have no idea.
You have no, like, that's what you're telling me. You have no clue what that means. And you think you know what it means, right? And every single AI first and AI driven and AI led CRM I saw out there wasn't. Trust me, compared to what's coming, none of that stuff is AI powered, AI driven, or AI first. They all think they are until this thing hits the ground. And then the game changes entirely. Entirely. I'm telling you, like, none of you are ready for it, but like when it actually happens, I want to say it's gonna ripple. It's gonna ripple pretty damn hard, for sure. Like, yeah, it's definitely going to. Looking forward to it.
You can barely contain yourself.
I want to talk about it so bad. I want to talk about it so bad it's nuts. But
the array of booths at Inbound was certainly interesting.
Oh my god!
And just like, if you were walking around and paying attention to the updates, this is where like most people not paying attention to the 200 updates. There were vendors on the floor where their entire app just got replaced, like by an update, like in HubSpot. More than one, right? And those, to think about that dynamic where they've spent a lot of money on that booth and HubSpot announces, like, and it can't, like, you can't get mad at HubSpot either, like, for this. Like, this is the way of the world that we're talking about, where it's getting harder and harder to differentiate in the old way, right?
Mhm.
That's where, like, again, we come back to this speed and agility and ideation and shipping, like, is everything. Which is why the individuals and the people that can just build without any overhead at all are already starting, to get to real outcomes, real value really quickly, and not for free, and they're not losing money. Like the Blitzy story is like really interesting to hear about. Like they're building their business on top of everybody else that's not making money on this part,
It's the ultimate wrapper.
and they're making a lot of money
Mhm.
by using those things like on this capital expense that's not their own, right? And it's just, oh man. Meanwhile, we still got to learn how to use these things. So I'm not good at communicating well enough to get what I want out of Claude. I think we'll get there on this third try.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, there we go. We're gonna get what I want. But again, we're on this to the point with RFP agent, and just if you can just get a sense of all the different ways that these are starting, right? This is the first one I've gotten to where I actually need, a file. Like, surprise, if you want help filling out an RFP, you need to give it the RFP, like, right?
Yep.
So that's what I'm asking Claude to create. Uh, and it's doing that now. Originally, see, this is me not understanding what I needed here because I'm trying to do this in a vacuum versus in a process in a company actually doing it. Right. So the first thing I asked Claude for was, can you give me an RFP like template? Right. So that's not going to work here because we're asking the agent to fill out like real requests based on what your company offers, um, uh, based on these tools that you're giving it. So now let's see what Cloud comes up with. Now I think we got what we want. Um, yep. And so
Mhm.
I asked it for something that can. It sounds crazy, but we're seeing them all the time now. Um, Something that can do marketing automation and CRM and help desk and let's just throw ERP like in
Yeah.
there
Do it
just
all.
for like maybe
Shit's
everything.
okay.
Like because we can't call it a business platform, we can't call it a customer platform because nobody knows what those things mean. So we got to stick to these terms,
Mhm.
which everybody has different definitions of. Like even Claude is writing up a better like RFP than the ones we usually see when HubSpot asks for help to win these projects. So I'm gonna download as PDF and print that out.
And what's really amazing about this too, like even outside of all of these agents to like actually do stuff for you, right? Um, I can only say it because it's on the pro levels basically, but um being able to, even if you have just like one pro level subscription, right? The nice part about this, or like the sick part about this, I would say, especially if you're like a solopreneur, or your startup, is the fact that again, like you now have a business partner, like you can build a business partner that is made up of your actual business. So when you're talking to them about advice, like it's one thing to be talking to your GPT about it. And it's another thing to be talking to like Claude about it. Unfortunately, the Claude connector with MCP, awesome as it is, context window be damned. So now you have something that doesn't have that context window limitation necessarily, and is looking at your data and looking at the specific data that it needs to in order to help answer the query that you give it. So you're able to, like, oh man, I was having a slump this month, don't know what the hell's going on. Can you take a look and see if there's any correlation, if there's any pattern to what's happened with the latest closed deals, or what's happened with the latest client updates and everything that I've done, that can point out whether or not there's a downward trend that I need to correct for? Or is it just market conditions? How many of you have been able to ask that of your data, like ask that of your business, and get like the accurate, right answer? Now you can. It's a whole new, it's just a whole new game. It's it's money marketing, man. Money
Yep.
marketing, actual customer profiles. When you saw the new lead scoring tools, you should have seen this coming from a mile away.
Even there, like I'm already suggesting to Casey, like get out of scoring. Like
Yeah, well, now
sentiment
yeah,
and signals are just coming from every which way.
yeah,
That is what we needed. Like, and even the deal scores, I realize now, like we're not going to get rid of the word score.
right.
It's just they're going to be composed of things not done by humans.
Yes, yes,
Because we suck at that part, by the way. Like, can we
right.
just rejoice that the 98% of use cases of failed lead scoring, like, let's hand that shit off. Like, what are you doing? Why are we trying to get that right? Like, let's get the human relationship right that leads to better scoring and signals, right? Like, man, if you see some of this stuff in action, it's stuff that everybody's been asking for a long time. Like, the crazy thing to me is when we point to human in the loop, like, oh, this is why you still got to have humans involved. And like a recent post, like, because AI isn't just going to magically fix the 70% like failure rates of CRM. Well, we already know who didn't fix that. That's the humans that have been around failing 70% of the time. So
Hmm.
guess what? A bunch of customers, this is why you can't get mad that they just go over to GPT and say, hey, well, GPT says it's possible, right? Gemini says it's possible. That's the position they're in. They don't trust
Right,
us, and they
right.
shouldn't. Like the vast majority of them have been taken on, have been sold bridges to the promised land of SEO and Google ads and all this stuff that's just supposed to be click, click, click buttons, just give me money. And then, leads will flow. For most companies, that has not resulted in, um, great gains,
No,
right? Like
no, because you're trying to bottle.
it results in quick wins, which I'm trying to grow business. I'm trying to scale in a sustainable way. I don't need quick wins, right? Like it's
Do you remember what?
I do need
Remember
these
what?
buttons to work. So just if the team's watching, this agent doesn't want to run. So I'm curious at this point, if I were testing this, which I might later, like I'm gonna start testing different file types. Maybe it doesn't like this PDF for some reason, but not working. So we'll continue on. I'll let Nico share what's on his mind.
No, I was just wondering. I was going to ask you. Do you remember what Amjad said? I mean, he said a lot of stuff, obviously, but do you remember what he said about uh, being one of the fastest ways to move forward today with like AI and with like business, right? Was to fail fast, right? And the reason why is because you basically want to try something new. You want to try this avenue. You want to try this method that is given to you by the model. And you want to test in that direction and go at it like crazy, right? And if it fails, pivot to something else. Because you can. Even while you're running in that direction, you should be branching off and trying something and putting something else together as sort of like this plan B, perhaps, right? But even if you don't need the plan B and the plan A works, cool, leave the plan A running and now try out the plan B, right? And you just keep doing this. You keep iterating. You keep getting better. What is it that George says? Go to sleep a master, but you wake up a student, right? Every single day. And to me, there's no easier, faster, better way to do that than to leverage these tools so that you can actually, again, see, oh, this is what it should be compared to what I thought that it was. What you got there for us?
As we wrap, I'm just gonna rattle through these as we finish up this hour. But just I'm super impressed. Like, so initially before I was here and then here, and I'm like waiting. I'm like, oh man, like, all right, this one didn't work. But then I think about waiting. Okay, it needs approval, and it's just sitting there, like ready. Create a note with agent. Right? I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Yep, go ahead. Okay. And it views the note. And I probably got to find the note right now, which is unfortunate. If we go to activities and notes, I mean, all right, that's result number one. Just let you soak that in. And then it continues running while I'm going looking at that note. Right? Because that's just one of the things that I've asked it to do. We've got close loss deal insights in the sales to marketing feedback agent, right? So different from the how do we win? This is like giving marketing feedback. So representative quotes. In this demo, presented Quidditch League pricing and Horcrux data, shared security, aligned on onboarding steps. Next, schedule live wizarding onboarding call. Thank you so much for this data, Nico.
Of course.
All right. What?
Uh-oh.
Oh, stop it.
How you like them apples?
Come on, folks. All right. Next one.
Ain't them some nice apples?
Manufacturing account handoff. Hey, team. We've never been great at handing off from sales to service. Maybe instead of trying to ram that square into the round hole, let's just see what this agent can do. Oh, wow. Somebody who can actually communicate in a way that service can receive the handoff. Like, Lord Almighty, blog research agent. Oh, how about a blog series? That sounds cool. Okay, here's the outline, metadata, intense monthly search volume, some body. We've got multiple blogs outlined here. By the way, at some point we just give it to the other agents to like finish making stuff. Company research agent. Hey, check out Profound.ly. Profoundly offers an immediate solution for businesses needing flexible, high quality HubSpot expertise serving clear market gap. Nailed it. It's not even in the system. Like I don't even think Profoundly as a company is in this portal, right?
Yeah.
Lastly, here we go. View suggested posts. Like, come on, folks. Oh my Lord.
I mean, when they talk about like how much more powerful this is and the fact that like you can have like a whole marketing team in the palm of your hand, right?
In the
Now you're
click of
looking
your
at it.
finger. In the
Now
click
you're
of your
looking at it.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not even joking. Like you can chain all of these together in some
Yep.
like super magnanimous way to the point where, you know,
This is why this series, it's probably going to happen shortly.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
what we're talking about is architecture and orchestration, because even as we're saying these things out loud because we know they exist, we know the possibility is there, it does require like taking a step back. What do we actually need for our organization? What does our process need to be to serve customers from end to end, awareness to champion, everything in between? What are all the touch points? Probably getting some help from Claude or Gemini or chat to be able to do that, but then map it out. Who do we have right now? What are the processes that we're doing right now?
mm-hmm.
And how does this stuff fit in? The biggest gaps, like the handoff gaps, if that's just happening via email, like right now, just like find stuff like that and just run it. Like, and then say, hey team, I need you to figure this agent out. Like leader of sales, leader of service, get in here. You have a week to develop this agent and put it into place. That means you're picking 5 deals. You're picking some amount of actual activity that you start to turn into, like with this agent. Is it, how far away is it? Is it 10% of the way? Is it 90% of the way? Like, you've got to understand what you have here. Like, so I don't want to hear, it's very hard when you know this stuff exists, to create that level of value to where you don't have to hire people to fill this gap. And we start talking about hundreds of dollars a month as a concern, right? Like that tells me you clearly don't understand. And that's why I'm not saying you have the time. No, I'm not hedging. I'm not hedging. You've got to get in here. There's no
Yeah.
excuses.
No, because this is what we're talking, like this is showing exactly what we're talking about, where again, if somebody has a small business, they are making up for 2 to 3 different departments with 3 button clicks. Like the agents that I build, like I build them purposefully to be one click agents. I don't even want you to have to enter the data. The agent is going to go get the data for the thing that you are using it for. Even if it's latest closed deal, the agent is going to know to go grab the latest closed deal specifically for, whatever. If you want it, if you wanted an agent specific to a person, different story than, whatever. I'd have to build one that maybe asks you, right? But that's what I would do, is it would be a push button that would then ask you and present like, hey, here's the owners. Which owners do you want to look for? I don't even build shit that's like, because the next step from there is verbal. So this is what I was talking about before when I'm like, I want to build stuff that, like, I am building everything to be mobile first, agent friendly. Everything, like all the shit that I build is mobile first design, minified code, agent friendly. I don't build any, and modular. So like those 4 things, those are like my 4 pillars to, and I get it. I'm not a developer. I didn't take any of the classes. I don't have any of the certifications. I don't care. They seem to do it just fine. It's a different world, man. It's money marketing now. It's actual data. It's actual value. It's actual targeting. There's no more, the guessing is over. The guesswork is over. It was fun. It was really fun. I know a lot of you love to, well, my theory's the best. No, my theory's the best. No, my theory, I make the most money, so my theory's the best. It's over. Give it up, because if you don't, your competition will, and then you're just going to be crying about, well, how are they doing it? And you're going to be chasing the other person's algorithms that don't apply to your business and aren't the same customers as your customers. The problem with a lot of you guys is you've been trying to, like, the those of you who have been going after the same vertical for years, pick one, because you're all already here's my best advice, honestly. New guys, horizontal. You don't have to go vertical. You'll get there. You'll get just as much money as the vertical. Just go horizontal. Why? Because you can. Stop thinking in like this limited capacity of, I can't possibly service that many people. Just stop doing it. Like, you absolutely can. It's the dumbest thing. If you've seen what I do with Perplexity, it will destroy your mind.
I mean, this is a perfect example, right? Like, agent management is horizontal. It's going to impact every single company on the planet. Every single one, right? So if you build an agent management service, and by the way, HubSpot's been ecosystem partners have been hearing this from HubSpot for the better part of a year.
Yep.
Right. And it's there for everyone. And the pain is like 21 agents have just been delivered to every single HubSpot portal. And there's people that have not clicked that button yet. And it will only take a few clicks. That's where it's the difference between, you can let everybody figure it out for themselves, which there is that will happen. This isn't one of those cases where the adoption, like the activation energy is so low to go over here and click this button, click this agent, and then watch it work. It just has to show a little bit of promise for somebody to be like, and this is how I've been presenting it to people.
Yeah.
How many times does it have to be like, oh, it's that easy? Or, oh, man, that's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Everybody.
It takes one of those moments. Like, if we're trying to train people, let people know, we're hoping for that moment. And then it's like, you're off to the races. Like,
yeah.
And that's where
the magic trick. That's
when
it.
Like, they peek behind the curtain, they see the wizard behind the curtain at that point, and they have all the business context. What are you doing, agency, at that point? Right? Like, and this is where just to, like, you don't even need to orchestrate in the way that I'm suggesting. Like, yes, it would be nice. There's probably a way for me to go connect the agent, right? To go find the agent that can actually build the blog posts and maybe create some landing pages, go into Content Remix, figure all that out. Or I can just open up Breeze Assistant, give it the PDF that was the output here. This is the part where I still have to like build some habits, where I'm still not seeing this the way that I see, Claude, and I'm asking questions like, oh, I really like the way I can just go article after article after article, like with Claude in the same chat, right? And for me, in my mind, if I expand this to full screen, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, maybe this is a lot like that experience over there, especially when you add in knowledge bases, right? So like cloud projects, like custom GPTs. Actually, this is an assistant. Sorry, this is this is I'm giving Breeze Assistant this assistant hat of value pack coach, right? And so I'm like, put this hat on right now. And I'm like, hey, can you help me draft these articles from the value first perspective? Sure. Here's how we're going to reframe it. And then for each article, I'll do this. Yeah. LFG. That's how I usually like to get started. And then here we go.
And we're talking like seconds, right? We're
Right.
not talking like all day. Not only are we not talking all day, but it's like I think the most like crucial part maybe is iteration, like creative iteration, right? So if you didn't like this article, you can take this, and I'm not even joking, right? Like again, this is just samples of the shit I do all day. Um, you can take that output. Uh, it's not available yet, I don't think, within Assistant, but it will be soon. Where you can just listen to the output, right? So what I do is I have another app. It's called Natural Reader. And what I would do is I would just copy paste that and throw it over to Natural Reader and listen to it while I'm working on something else now. So I technically go from, even though it's just a text to speech engine, realistically, essentially I'm going from one agent to another agent to do something for me so that I can free myself up to do something else while I'm listening to the output from the first one. And if the first one rings true in my head, we go with it. If not, I tell the agent what I go back and I tell the assistant what stuff to change. Right. But now I'm able to do that. Like, boom. I'm not giving this to my copy editor who's taking up front to it because that's what they were taught when they did copy editing in school, and that's the way they've been doing it for years, so they're not going to change how they do it, and they're just going to massage what I said and come back to me with some, bastardization of what I asked for. No, I'm going to get exactly what I asked for, and I'm going to get it tailored to my brand, and I'm going to get it tailored in the voice of my brand. It's so different, man. It's so different. It's a completely different way of doing business.
It is. It is. And even like getting to the point of like, are you trying to do business or are you trying to create value and add value? And like, we're just stuck in these ways of, if it's doing business, then we got to have this exchange and I got to worry about margin and pricing and cost. And am I going to get mine? Uh,
Right.
if I know I am, then now I got to figure out how to get them to convert. And, I got to figure out what the messaging needs to be perfectly, and just sit in the corner and decide what all these things are without interacting with the market. It's just like, it's different. Right.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to finish this part off here. Like, how far are we away from it actually? And in some cases, maybe I just needed to ask differently. But the, I'd say always ask right now. Like, if you're an assistant or agent, not
Mhm.
agent, and an assistant, in Breeze assistant, be like, can you do that for me? Like, just
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? Because object creation, data model management, properties, like creation of records, like almost all the CRM stuff
Yeah.
is doable by the
Yep.
assistant now. Uh, with That's where human in the loop, super important, right? Like, it's your data, that's context that's now feeding the rest of the system, right?
Mhm.
So that's the place you want to be. Whenever it's like the context decision, like, does this make sense for our business and our approach? Like, that's where, but as far as like, what a blog article should look like, markdown and all that other stuff, like that's like, you know, that's if AI is trying to do anything, it's all that stuff that exists all over the planet in terms of best practices on how to do this stuff, right? Like, so now we're here, we got our blog article. And, you know, even here, collaborate with assistant. Oh, back to right where we were. And now I can say, highlight this. If we go down here, let's see here. How are we doing? It used to be so that I guess I could just paste, or no, refine here. Apply brand identity. Okay. I'm pretty sure you did that already, but let's say, so I did that, the one click, it rewrites it.
Mhm.
Do I want to replace it? Sure. Well, and honestly, like where it was, I didn't read where it was, but let's call it like it is. Old school automation loves control. Yep. I'm pretty sure Nico just said that exact thing.
Mhm.
Oh man, agentic AI isn't here to play jailer.
Yep.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, I'm happy I hit the button now, and I'm gonna keep hitting the button. Folks, no more excuses. Just zero, right? Um. Oh, until tomorrow, my friend, where we pull ourselves away from the orange, because this is just one little bitty pocket of
Itty
what's
bitty.
happening right now. And we're gonna have some fun tomorrow. I guarantee you that. We had some fun today too. But we're gonna cover you up. Like again, no excuses, but that doesn't mean you're on your own. There's so many people trying to help you right now understand what this is and what it could be for your business.
Yep.
So any final thoughts on Breeze agents or anything we talked about today?
Final thoughts would be it's now or never. We tried to tell you before that this was coming and that you needed to get into it and that you needed to dip your toes in and wade into the water and get into it and learn how to do this stuff. Um, you definitely at at some point needed to start getting on the bandwagon of like building projects and custom GPTs and really getting into it. We saw the massive wave after GPT-5 of like the number of people who had never touched custom instructions. And I've talked to people who use GPT for a long time who haven't used custom instruction. They didn't even know it was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now or never. These things are super important. If you keep ignoring them, remember when they said the AI is not replacing you. The person that knows how to use AI is replacing you. That's what's happening. It's exactly what Atlassian did. It's exactly what Microsoft has been doing. It's exactly what Google's been doing. They've got people who use the tools and use them to such a degree that yeah, it kind of replaces the 4 or 5 people who didn't want to use the tool. It's just the way it is. And I can guarantee you want to know what the new metric internally is going to be for performance and stuff like that? Tokens. How much are you using the GPT? How much are you using the assistant? These credits are going to turn around from being this like, oh shit, I can't believe we have to pay for credits. It's going to turn around into being this like monitored thing where like, hey, Tony, how come you were using only like 20 credits this past month? What do you got going on over there? Right?
Yeah. How many emails did you type out manually, Nico?
Yep.
All right. How do we bring it to zero, buddy?
Yep. What's going on? It looks like your assistant that's supposed to handle your meeting follow up. It looks like it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there parked. What's happening? Like, what do are you miring yourself down in the 5
Well,
hours of?
I like to just give him a call and follow up.
Quit doing that
But
shit.
yeah.
And if you think this stuff is joking, what did you think they got into? I know these terms or whatever. They're not evil. What did you think they got into bed with HeyGen for? for shits and giggles? No, because eventually there's going to be somebody that goes to your meetings for you and has your meeting for you.
Mm.
I'm not even joking when like there's an AI channel that I watch on YouTube now that is like an AI like video of the person that is supposed to be doing the broadcast. I don't give a shit. It's good enough
Right. It's adding value. It's creating value. Like,
because I'm getting what I need and better because the content has gotten better because the person now doesn't have to do the production, so they get to go do more research. It's
which is
changing.
usually
It's
talking to other
completely
people,
changing.
like live conversations that generates insights.
You can go do
Yeah.
more interviews. Like it's nuts, man.
You
It's
can be in the
seriously.
community. You can be in it, right? Ah, man. Yeah,
Yep.
we'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow, folks. It's gonna be a blast. We hope you join us. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
So yeah.